Welcome to the Deep Dive. We are tearing through your stack of sources to give you the ultimate shortcut to being well-informed. We just had the exciting start to the NBA preseason, complete with key rookie debuts, but honestly, the biggest thing, the real seismic event of the week, hit before any games even started.
You're absolutely right. We have to kick off with that massive trade bombshell involving Giannis Antetokounmpo. The reports you sent us, they detail some real behind-the-scenes drama, and, well, it really confirms the Bucks' title window is facing some serious, immediate pressure.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the veteran reporter Shams Charania, he dropped this really stunning report earlier this week, said that Giannis over the summer actually expressed serious questions to the Bucks front office about the team's, ongoing ability to contend for championships.
Right, and that alone is pretty big news.
Exactly. But here is where it gets really interesting. The report specifically cited the New York Knicks as the preferred destination for Giannis if he were actually to be traded outside of Milwaukee.
And what's really fascinating here is that this wasn't just, speculation or noise. Sources are indicating the Knicks weren't just making casual calls. They apparently secured an exclusive negotiating window with the Bucks GM, John Horst, for several weeks back in August.
An exclusive window.
Yeah.
Wow, so offers were actually made?
Yeah, deals were definitely put on the table.
Okay, and then, boom, the talks just collapsed. And we had these conflicting reports on why, right? The Bucks side, their leak suggested the Knicks simply didn't offer a strong enough package. I mean, for Giannis, a generational superstar.
Well, yeah, that's the Bucks line. But, if you push back on that a little, what about the Knicks side? Their perspective, according to their sources, was kind of that Milwaukee never seriously entertained trading him in the first place.
So maybe it was just the Bucks trying to gauge his market value. Or maybe get some leverage with Giannis himself.
Could be. But let's look at the actual risk here for Milwaukee, because it's significant.
It really is, especially when you look at the money, the financial timeline.
Exactly. Giannis is extension eligible next summer. We're talking a 4-year deal, potentially, upwards of $275 million? It's staggering.
And if he says no, if he doesn't sign that deal next summer,
then the clock starts ticking, immediately. The Bucks have to make a huge choice. Trade him before the following deadline to get the maximum return, or risk, losing him for potentially nothing if he decides to force his hand later on.
And it's wild because when you look at what the Bucks actually did financially this summer, their actions are screaming all-in commitment right now, which only makes these trade rumors even more complicated, doesn't it?
Completely. They waived and stretched fictional veteran Damian Lillard. That's a $100 million commitment in dead money spread over the next few years. It ties up future cap space, all focused on winning now.
And they didn't stop there. They also committed another $100 million this summer to sign center Miles Turner.
Right. So that's $200 million combined commitment to the supporting cast. Those are absolutely not the moves of a franchise getting ready to trade its superstar and hit rebuild.
No way. It confirms they're betting heavily that this talent, this investment, will be enough to convince Giannis to stay, regardless of whatever whispers are coming out of New York or anywhere else.
It's a huge bet. This financial commitment, it's designed to maximize the current title window, for sure, but it also, severely limits their flexibility down the road if Giannis does decide to walk.
And we also saw the Knicks extend Mikal Bridges, right?
Right.
Which significantly limited their own ability to gather the necessary picks and assets for a trade that massive.
Okay.
It kind of suggests they weren't truly ready to go all in this summer either, maybe waiting for a clearer signal.
Yeah, it was a really fascinating kind of standoff. Interesting dynamics. But okay, the man himself. How did the star at the center of this whole storm respond?
Well, Giannis addressed the rumors directly. He said he hadn't actually read the story,
Right.
but he did confirm his stance, which has been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
He wants to be in a situation where he can win. He insisted he's currently, completely focused on the team, the new coaching staff.
But there's that one line, the crucial line, that basically ensures the story isn't going away. It's going to follow the Bucks all year long. He said, and I think the quote from our sources was, "If in 6-7 months I change my mind, I think that's human too."
Oof. Yeah, that is a massive caveat, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's basically saying, yeah, I'm here now, but his long-term commitment feels very conditional on how this season plays out.
Exactly. It puts enormous pressure on this season. Meanwhile, you had Coach Doc Rivers, who was visibly, let's say, annoyed by the media attention around the report. He called the whole thing unbelievable.
Yeah, he pushed back hard, didn't he? Especially on the idea of several conversations. He insisted it was just a single phone call where GM John Horst immediately said no.
Look, I get Rivers trying to, put out the fire, but that denial feels maybe a little disingenuous. Like, okay, sure, teams call each other all the time. But when the call involves a generational talent and there was talk of an exclusive negotiating window, that's a bit more than just a standard check-in, right?
Right. It feels like more than just a casual, hey, what's up?
Definitely. The pressure on Rivers now to deliver, and deliver immediately this season, it's just immense. Knowing that failure could potentially trigger that massive $275 million question mark next summer.
Okay, so let's pivot a bit. From the established giants and their high-stakes drama, let's talk about the league's newest promise. While Milwaukee's dealing with huge financial commitments, the preseason is already giving us glimpses of the next generation. Starting with the young phenom, Cooper Flagg. He made his debut for the Dallas Mavericks against OKC's, well, their deep bench guys.
Yeah, it was a really solid first look, wasn't it? Highly anticipated. Flagg's final stat line looked good. 10 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, a block. He even showed off a smooth shot, hit a couple of pull-up threes.
Yeah, the numbers were fine, but like you said in the outline, the Flagg experience, it felt like it was defined less by the points and more by his just exceptional feel for the game.
That's exactly what jumped off the page for me, too, reading through the sources. His passing instincts immediately stood out. The playmaking, the vision, particularly hitting guys cutting to the basket, that's precisely what the Mavs need, isn't it? They're trying to shift away from just iso ball towards something more dynamic, more off-ball movement.
Totally. And it sounds like he's soaking things up from the veterans already. Post-game, apparently Flagg raved about D'Angelo Russell's leadership. Specifically said Russell was teaching him how to dissect things, both defensively and offensively, in ways he hadn't really thought about before.
That's great to hear. And Russell's impact wasn't just talk either. His passing in that game, it was highlighted as the kind of connector that Dallas desperately needs. He found teammates with some real flair, hit Max Christie on a beautiful backdoor cut, found Derek Lively for a dunk. You could see some immediate chemistry there.
And Christie, speaking of him, his role looks like it could be really crucial in this new Mavs identity. His off-ball movement, his cutting, it looked incredibly effective. It lines up perfectly with what they want to do offensively.
Right. But the real headline, maybe, was Christie revealing the team's defensive focus. Apparently, they set an internal goal in training camp, get this, to be a top 3 defensive team this year.
Whoa, top 3, that's audacious. Especially considering where Dallas has been defensively in recent years.
It's a massive goal. But hey, if they can actually instill that kind of culture right away, you combine that with Flagg's defensive potential, Russell initiating offense, maybe Dallas really is on the verge of a genuine culture shift. It's something to watch for sure.
Definitely something to watch. All right, let's wrap up this deep dive by hitting some specifics from a couple of key early preseason matchups. Let's start with that close one, the Chicago Bulls just edging out the Cleveland Cavaliers, 118 to 117.
Yeah, for Cleveland, honestly, you just toss the final score out completely. Doesn't matter. The major tangible takeaway was seeing DeAndre Hunter starting at small forward. And the expectation is he's going to be the full-time starter there because Max Strus is unfortunately out long-term, maybe until 2026, which is just brutal.
Awful news for Strus. But for Hunter, 17 points on, 7 of 9 shooting. Pretty efficient.
Very efficient. And the sources really stressed how they used him. That was the significant part. Cleveland was intentionally getting him the ball in spots maybe we haven't seen him operate from, as much specifically the mid-post, the elbow area.
Interesting. So it suggests the coaching staff has actually drawn up specific plays to leverage his scoring and size in maybe a smarter way this season, rather than just having him stand in the corner as a spot-up guy.
Exactly. Smarter usage. Plus, the reports noted Evan Mobley's overall offensive demeanor just looked smoother, more confident, attacking the basket without hesitation, which is great to see.
Okay, what about the Bulls, the winners?
Yeah.
The young guys apparently stepped up.
Oh, yeah. The young talent really showed out for Chicago. Montas Brazailis led the team 19 points in only 18 minutes. He looked absolutely ready to make a significant jump in his role this year. And the rookie, Noah Essen, he showed immediate promise, too. Very active, especially around the rim on both ends.
And sounds like they brought that physicality they've been talking about all summer.
They really did. They just dominated the glass, out-rebounded the Cavaliers by nearly 20. That signals they're serious about trying to establish a much grittier identity this season.
Okay, game 2, Indiana Pacers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Ended in a crazy preseason overtime win for the Pacers, 135 to 134. Again, score is irrelevant. OT in preseason is kind of nuts.
Totally undesirable, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Pacers' style, their identity, it was just glaringly obvious right from the tip-off.
That high speed, high energy, full court defensive pressure, it's just relentless, isn't it?
Absolutely relentless. They just play one way. Aaron Neath was apparently drilling shots, showing some real improvement. Pascal Siakam looked incredibly comfortable running the floor in that system. And Johnny Fury came off the bench, dropped 12 points. He looks poised for maybe a breakout year for Indiana, fitting right into that fast-paced attack.
In Minnesota, what was the read on them?
Minnesota looked exactly like a team that's, slowly ramping things up, taking it easy. They definitely weren't showcasing their top-level defensive intensity or running complex offensive sets.
Was getting some reps in?
Pretty much. Anthony Edwards played well, scored 17 points, did his thing, playing downhill, attacking the rim. But overall, it felt like they were conserving energy, while the Pacers seem almost incapable of playing slow, even in October.
Okay, so bringing it all together, what does this all mean for you as you're sort of taking in these first few days of preseason action, heading towards the real thing?
We started with that Giannis trade drama. Look, it's very real. The underlying tension is there. A move doesn't seem imminent, but that pressure, that question mark, it's absolutely going to hang over Milwaukee all season long.
No doubt about it.
Then we saw the future, maybe, with Cooper Flagg's really intelligent debut for the Mavs. You couple that with Dallas setting this incredibly ambitious goal of being a top-3 defensive team. Well, that signals a potential major identity shift happening there.
A huge potential shift. And finally, we saw some promising signs from young talent like Montas Brazzelis in Chicago really stepping up. And maybe a smarter strategic repositioning of DeAndre Hunter in Cleveland that could unlock some new offensive potential for the Cavs this year.
Yeah, lots of interesting little threads already. And if we connect this all the way back to the Giannis situation, just for a final provocative thought for everyone listening, we really have to consider the league's economic structure, right? Specifically, those new second apron rules.
Right. The rules designed to prevent super teams, basically.
Exactly. They are consciously designed, you could argue, to prevent the rich from getting richer asset-wise, to funnel stars away from established contenders, maybe like the Knicks, and channel them towards teams lower down the standings, teams who can actually offer the maximum haul of assets in return.
So the system itself actually works against Giannis going to his reported preferred destination, the Knicks.
Precisely. Giannis apparently named the Knicks. But if the system is built to financially restrict a team like the Knicks from making that kind of massive trade truly viable, well, the big question becomes, can sheer star power still overcome those strict financial mechanisms of the league?
Or does the CBA inevitably force a player like Giannis, if he decides he wants out, onto maybe an ascending team, perhaps an Orlando or a Detroit, a team that has the draft picks and young players to make the best offer according to the rules, even if it's not where the star wants to be?
That's the fundamental tension, I think. Star desire versus systemic structure. It's probably the biggest structural question facing the league right now, especially with stars potentially getting restless. Really something to think about.
Thank you for listening. Please comment, like, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, please leave a 5-star review. Did your favorite team play preseason, and how much excited are you for the 26th season?